Book of Heaven, Volume 20, December 25th, 1926. How the little baby made himself seen, newly born, by his mama. The light that the little baby sent forth, which gave to everyone the greeting of his coming upon earth. Difference between the grotto and the prison of the Passion. I was anxiously waiting for little baby Jesus, and after many sighs, finally he came, and throwing himself as a little baby into my arms, he said to me,
"My daughter, do you want to see how my inseparable mama saw me when I came out of her maternal womb? Look at me and see."
I looked at him, and I saw him as a tiny little baby of a rare and enrapturing beauty. From the whole of his little humanity, from his eyes, from his mouth, from his hands and feet, came out most refulgent rays of light, which not only enveloped him, but extended so much as to be able to wound each heart of creature, almost to give them the first greeting of his coming upon earth, the first knock, to knock at the hearts, to have them open and ask for a shelter in them. That knock was sweet, but penetrating. However, being a knock of light, it made no clamor, and yet it made itself heard strongly, more than any sound. So, on that night, all felt something unusual in their hearts, but very few were those who opened their hearts to give him a little accommodation. And the tender infant, in feeling himself unrequited in his greeting, and that no one was opening at his repeated knocking, began his crying with his lips livid and shivering with cold. He sobbed, wailed, and sighed. But while the light that came out of him was doing all this with creatures, receiving the first rejections with his celestial mama, as soon as he came out of her womb, he threw himself into her maternal arms to give her the first embrace, the first kiss. And since his little arms could not reach to embrace her completely, the light which came out of his little hands surrounded all of her in such a way that mother and son remained invested with the same light. Oh, how the Queen Mama requited her son with her embrace and kiss, in such a way that they remained so clasped to each other as to seem fused, one within the other. With her love, she compensated for the first rejection which Jesus received from the hearts of creatures, and the dear and charming little baby placed his first act of being born, his graces, his first sorrow, in the heart of his mama, so that what was seen in the son could be seen in his mama. Then after this, the gracious little baby came into my arms, and as he squeezed me so very tightly, I felt him entering into me and I into him. And then he said to me,
"My daughter, I wanted to embrace you as I embraced my dear mama as newly born, so that you too may receive my first act of being born and my first sorrow, my tears, my tender wailings, that you may be moved to compassion for my sorrowful state at my birth. Had I not had my mama, in whom I could place all the good of my birth and fix in her the light of my divinity, which I, Word of the Father, contained, I would have found no one in whom either to place the infinite treasure of my birth, or to fix the light of my divinity, which shone forth from my little humanity. Therefore, see how necessary it is that, when the Supreme Majesty decides for a great good to be done for creatures which can serve as universal good, we choose one to whom to give so much grace that she may be able to receive within herself all the good that all others must receive. In fact, if others do not receive all of it or part of it, our work does not remain suspended and without its fruit, but the chosen soul receives all of that good within herself, and our work receives the return of its fruit. So, my mama was the depository not only of my life, but of all my acts. Therefore, in all my acts, first I looked to see whether I could deposit them in her, and then I did them. In her I deposited my tears, my wailings, the cold and the pains that I suffered. And she echoed all of my acts, and with incessant thanksgivings she received everything. There was a contest between mother and son, I in giving, she in receiving. As this little humanity of mine made its first entrance upon earth, my divinity wanted to shine forth from it in order to go around everywhere and make the first sensible visit to all creation. Heaven and earth all received this visit of their Creator, except for man. They had never received so much honor and glory as when they saw their King, their Maker, within their midst. All felt honored, for they were to serve the one from whom they had received their existence. Therefore all made feast. So my birth was of great joy and glory for me on the part of my mama and of all creation, but it was for me of great sorrow on the part of creatures. This is why I have come to you, to feel the joys of my mama being repeated in me, and to place in you the fruit of my birth.
Then, after this, I was thinking about how unhappy was that grotto in which little baby Jesus was born, how exposed it was to all winds and to cold, to the point of making one numb with icy cold. Instead of men, there were animals to keep him company. So I thought, which prison was more unhappy and sorrowful, the prison of the night of his passion or the grotto of Bethlehem? And my sweet baby added,
My daughter, the unhappiness of the prison of my passion cannot be compared with the grotto of Bethlehem. In the grotto I had my mama near me, soul and body. She was with me. Therefore I had all the joys of my dear mama, and she had all the joys of myself, her son, which formed our paradise. The joys of a mother who possesses her child are great. The joys of possessing a mother are even greater. I found everything in her, and she found everything in me. Then there was my dear father, Saint Joseph, who acted as father to me, and I felt all of his joys which he felt because of me. On the other hand, in my passion, our joys were all interrupted, because we were to give place to sorrow, and between mother and son, we felt the great sorrow of the nearing separation, sensible at least, which was to occur with my death. In the grotto, animals recognized me, and honoring me, they tried to warm me with their breath. In the prison, not even men recognized me, and in order to insult me, they covered me with spit and opprobrium. So there is no comparison between the two of them.
Thank you for being a part of our community here at Divine Will app. If you enjoy listening to Jesus' lessons on how to live in the divine will, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach more souls yearning to live in the kingdom of the divine will. We'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections, so drop a comment below. Your insights not only enrich our community, but also inspire others on their spiritual journey. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By joining us, you're helping to spread the news of the kingdom of the divine will, so that together we can bring His kingdom to reign on earth as it is in heaven. In the divine will, always.